I'm from Delhi, ma'am. Delhi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So let's start because I have given enough time for people to join in. If you can just mute yourself, please, so that you know. I think few people have to mute yourself. Just check your audio and just mute yourself, please. Great. A very warm welcome to each of you here who has made it on time to attend this webinar. I think you are about 38 people. So this itself speaks volumes of the challenges parents or teachers might be facing today. Now, parenting is the easiest thing to have an opinion about, but the hardest thing in the world to do. I'm sure you will agree with this, right? Now, it starts early when the baby is born. Eat, sleep, poop, repeat, right? So, and as they go older, we all know what all we have to deal with. Now, before getting into the topic, right, let's start with the basics. Because parenting is a journey. You can't say, you learned the skill today and from tomorrow I'm going to implement it. It takes time. So the fact that so many people of you are here indicates that there is a problem in understanding of the basics. It's like my foundation in math, if it is weak, how much ever I try later in life, I will still struggle to do math sums, right? So let us understand, right, from the child, when a child comes into this world, it knows only sensations of the surroundings. It comes into the world, it knows the touch of the mother, touch of the father, the grandparents, whoever is around, right? Secondly, it understands feelings. It knows the smile of the mother. It knows when the mother is not feeling too well. It can understand the feelings of the surroundings and people around. If you can mute yourself, Antarpreet or somebody, I think. Please mute yourself. Thank you. No, it's still on.
You can mute them, ma'am. You can mute them.
Okay, wait, let me just.
Ma'am, there is an option. You can, stop them to unmute themselves.
Okay. Okay. So I have muted
Don't
everyone.
Don't allow them to unmute themselves.
Okay, fine. So we'll keep the questions to the end. Okay.
Yeah,
as in when you have, pardon?
And they can raise their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Then you can allow them to unmute themselves.
Yeah, sure. So, but whatever it is, just keep your questions to the end so that we have enough time to discuss and, and then the flow doesn't stop, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So now I started with when a child comes into this world, it first learns only sensations, right? Secondly, it learns the touch. Then it starts verbalizing. It starts to feel pain, right? Then it says, I'm feeling hungry. This is painful. It can show by its expressions. Then it starts showing it in action. Now, what happens is it starts observing everything in the environment. Now, when a child comes into the world, it doesn't have any judgment or opinion. So what it does is it captures everything and it goes into the subconscious mind. Now, it is, to give an example, it's like in your mobile phone, you have a camera with a video. So supposing you want to capture something, all you do is just keep, moving your camera and then it records. So it's a software and it records. Similarly, children just observe what all is happening in the house, how people are behaving, and it just goes into the subconscious, right? So now children don't do what they are asked to do, but do what we do. So this is the crux of the whole thing. Okay. Now we move on to the next. Yeah. So now parenting is super tricky, right? As it is. It has its wow moments and it also has ayyo moments. Why do I have to have these children? Right? You have those moments when it comes to raising our kids. It can also be a sweet dream, at the same time, strange nightmares, sometimes both. So that is why parenting is a journey. It has to be played it's a strategic game parents have to play, both parents. And if you have extended family, yes, they also have to contribute. Now, parent is the first and most important role model, a teacher of a child in life. It learns by example. So how to manage emotions, what are the value systems in my house, and then what attitude, what are the emotions people are showing towards each other. Are they respecting each other, or are they yelling at each other, or are they criticizing each other? So everything is being noted. So parents are role models to children. Now notice why I am saying modeling, because parenting style is a term that psychologists have used to describe the relationship and response style you have with your child, right? So now you have 4 types of parenting styles. Psychologists have devised 4 styles. Now, because of this, children will sometimes listen to what you say, other times appear to be listening, but they will pay the most attention to what you do. And this is what is more critical. So in this session, let us explore different parenting styles and their general outcomes to fine-tune our parenting style. Because let's remember, we all have today, we want the best for our children. There is no parent in this world who says, no, I don't have anything. I don't want my child to succeed, or I don't want my child to do good things in life. We all want our children to succeed. But somewhere down the line, we tend to do things which are not in the, how do I put it? It's like, sometimes we do things unconsciously and the child picks that up. And that is what reflects in their behavior. Parenting, is it a boon or is it a bane? Right? I am a certified student career counselor and psychometric analyst, of course, a resource person now, life coach, and I've authored a book called Who Am I?, where it talks about personality styles, because everything boils down to your personality, what you come in this world with. You have a DNA with which you came. So a lot of things, boil down to that. And that is why people behave certain ways and, they have certain attitudes. All these things are formed because of our personality. So moving ahead. Okay, now this is, what is your personality style? Now, this is a theory that was founded by Diana Baumrind. She was a clinical and developmental psychologist known for her research in parenting styles. Now, if you see, there is no one style we use. There is always a mix of style. It's just that some of us, in certain styles, we are very, very dominant. And the other styles are, secondary and play very, very low. So let us first understand, which style we belong to, because awareness is the key to freedom. And however, when you understand these styles, this will help the parenting journey be more comfortable. So this is the blueprint for your child's behavior, the attitude, and the thinking. So this also will bring out how the relationship is going to be or is with your child and how it affects the development of the child. So first, let us just go through this parenting style. Now, the first is authoritarian style. The second one is permissive style. Third is authoritative style. Fourth is neglectful. So Diana Baumgarten came up with these 4 styles. Later on, very much later, there came another style called the helicopter style. So now let us just understand these styles in detail. Now this is a 4 quadrant, what you see. Now the 4 quadrants are how much of warmth or affection you show to your child, how much of control or structure you impose to your child, how much of involvement do you have with your child in your daily activities. So it is basically telling you high control versus low control, high warmth and affection versus low warmth and affection. Now, authoritarian is high control, low warmth. We'll go into the details. So basically what in this style, value of conformity, where children have to listen, come what may. I am the parent, I know it all. So the parent makes all the decisions, demands the child to just follow it, and sometimes punishes if they don't follow. So high control, low warmth. Now the next is permissive. High warmth, but low control, which means they try to fit into the role of a friend. So they're trying to be overly friendly, trying to, talk their language, or sometimes even wear clothes like them so that they look cool with, along with their children. And there is too much of concern and affection they show. They set boundaries, but let it loose. So if the child is going to ask, I'm going to my friend's house. So as a parent, as a permissive parent, you might say, okay, can I come back by 7 o'clock? So she'll say, okay. And then she goes there, she doesn't bother to call you. And you're also wondering what happened. And at the end of the day, she comes back at 9:30. And then you say, what happened? You were supposed to come at 7. She says, no, we were just talking and, we got carried away. So, and she just walks into her room. So high warmth and low control. Now the next is uninvolved, whereby you show low warmth, low control, which means indifferent to the child's needs, especially the emotional needs. You provide food, clothing, shelter, but you neglect the child totally. So this kind of parenting is mostly you see it with very, highly successful people where, they are in high-flying jobs. They don't have time. Both parents are in very good positions. Since they don't have the time, they may be, probably they'll have a nanny or a caretaker to take care of the child. So they just don't, get into the nitty-gritties of the day. Every day, it just goes as a routine. They go to the office, they come back, they still have office work to complete, they have calls to make. So they neglect the child. They are not involved in the child rearing process. Authoritative. Now there it is high warmth and high control, which means the parent gives reasonable demands and consistent limits. There is scope for negotiation. So the parent can exhibit warmth, the child feels the warmth, the child feels the affection. The parent listens to the point of view of the child, and there is democracy in that whole relationship. Now, supposing you have a rule at home that children should sleep by 9:30, 10 maximum. Some days, the child on a weekend, the child would probably say, I want to watch television for half an hour extra. So there you need to see how to negotiate, right? So you will say, no, 9:30 is our bedtime. Okay, I give you 10 minutes. And after that, you are in your bedroom. Come what may, you are going to sleep. You will switch off the TV and you'll go to sleep. So you set the ground rules. So you are giving a little scope to your child, not in that authoritative manner where you say, no, you go switch off the TV and you just walk off. No, it doesn't work like that. Now let us get into the details. Authoritarian style. What are the characteristics? extremely strict, blind obedience. I told you so. Now, this kind of parenting, mostly we have all experienced in our ages, right? When we had our parents, they never knew how that there were different styles. They just thought whatever they saw with their parents, and they thought it worked to an extent. And so they continued it with us. But this generation is very different. We cannot afford to use the same style of parenting, right? So we'll see the characters use punishment instead of reinforcement. They don't take care of the child's feeling. They are not sensitive to the child's feeling. There is no freedom of expression. The child gets withdrawn, doesn't share anything. High expectations, but then well-balanced, well-behaved kids. Now, when you see, when a parent who is very authoritarian, you will see that the child are very well-behaved outwardly. Why? Because the parent would have told, if you do anything when the guest comes, I will see after they leave. So you threaten. So they are dominating, aggressive in their tone. And such parents think by punishing, you stay in control. And this is how you think that you can demand respect through fear. But it's not a good feeling for the child, right? So you hold the affection. Why are you doing this? You think that, okay, people should say good things about your upbringing. See, that child, when we were all talking, it was sitting quietly. It didn't jump on the sofa. It didn't do this. So your other people's reactions are more important, but the child's feelings are not given importance, right? So highly controlling parents have manipulative children. So they can get into depression, they can get into self-harm, and they feel powerless, in fact. So they develop a sense of hatred towards parents. So what they do, when the parents are there, they may behave well. When the parent is not there, they'll do all the atrocities. So this is how, if you are an authoritarian parent, you see what are the outcomes. Lower academic performance, because there is always fear. I'm not able to focus on my studies because I'm always worried, I have to learn this. If I don't get good marks, my father or mother will beat me. She's going to abuse me. So that constant fear, that anxiety in the head, which is always there, makes the child makes a lot of mistakes. So lower academic performance, low self-esteem, poor social skills. The child may also resort to addictions, but parents will not know. And then they associate obedience with love. Okay? So let's move on to the next one, permissive style. Now, what are the permissive style? Freedom without limits, treat kids as their friends, will not discourage bad behavior, will buy anything the child asks, use bribe to get things done by your child, gives in too easily. So sometimes you can see parents, they would be doing something in the kitchen and they would need something very urgently. And they just cannot go and buy. So what they'll do, they'll call, hey, Rahul, can you come? I just want you to go and buy this tamarind and sugar. Can you just go and buy it? So Rahul will say, no, I'm doing something. I can't go now. So immediately the mother will say, Rahul, I told you, please go. Rahul will say, no, I won't go now. Then the mother says, listen, evening, you want to go out to a movie with your friend, don't you? Then I'm not going to allow you. So you use this as a crutch. You use emotional, outbreaks as a crutch. So what happens? Again, manipulation sets in. There is no boundary. So you don't correct the child enough, right? You let them make their own mistakes. You feel sorry for the child sometimes. Sometimes there is conflict between two parents. The mother says, no, don't buy him this watch for this birthday because it's really too much for this age. Then the father says, if he's a permissive parent, he'll say, no, that's okay. At least I'm able to afford it. In my time, no, I can't even say watch. If I spell out watch, my father will give one on my back. So it's okay. If I'm able to afford it, I want to buy it for my child. So permissive parents don't, have boundaries. They're very inconsistent when they set boundaries. So what happens? The child doesn't know where to draw lines when it grows up. Okay, they have low social skills. Running them, they just go with friends wherever they want, and parents feel that okay, let them be happy. In my childhood, my freedom was taken. For everything, I had to ask permission. They will never allow me. So we make a conscious decision when we become parents that, okay, whatever I didn't get, I will give it to my child. So children sometimes, when you are a permissive parent, they start talking back. So very often we find this when you're in a group or something, parents say something, the child gives back. So it's because you have allowed that to happen, right? And there is a lot of anxiety in the child. They want to be the child's friend and think that will make the child happy. So the permissive parent is not being their provider, but they do everything for the child. Like they will clean up their room, they will go drive them here, wherever the child wants to go, they will cook whatever the child wants, right? And sometimes it becomes too much on the parent. They feel very demeaning in their life. It should not be like that. You shouldn't feel tired of doing things. There should be equal amount of work distributed at home. Children need direction. So letting them take all decisions without them walking through the pros and cons will be disastrous. Now, research says that a logical brain doesn't actually develop till it reaches an age of 22 to 25. So they definitely need parental guidance on how to handle their emotions, how to manage time, how do you manage screen time. They should be able to take that responsibility because of your parenting style. Okay. Now, neglectful style. Now, neglectful style, as the name suggests, they are not present in their children's lives. There is no emotional bonding. They are often left with their nannies to take care. So, as I said before, this is due to the demands of the job, because now both parents have to work. They have to earn because they want their child to get into a top university. Again, when you want the child to go to a top university, whether it's in India or abroad, it is expensive. So both the parents take the, responsibility of doing well career-wise. But in that bargain, what happens is the child feels that it is not cared for. Okay. It feels very alone. So they start getting this, they don't share anything because the mother or father comes home, they don't have time to even talk to the child. They'll just ask, okay, how was school today? The child will say, yeah, okay, good. Okay, did you eat dinner? The child will say, yeah, I ate. And that's it. The child will go into its room. Parents also get back to their work. So there is no discipline. There is a lot of aloofness from one another. There is no, so such children resort to drugs, resort to smoking. They can be easily cyberbullied. That is where they all get into these, cases of getting into becoming an ISIS, because the parents don't know. They really don't know what's happening in their child's life, right? They have no moral values. There is no system in the house. Each one does their own. One gets up at 10, one gets up at 2. Each one eats, the food is there. So there is no structure. There is no value system in the house. Now, there's a small difference between, I'm sure there will be people who are a little confused between the permissive and the neglectful. Now, the permissive, the parent is warm, but there is no control. High warmth, there is low control. Boundaries are set. It's not that they don't set boundaries, but you will give in. You will be very flexible. It's okay. And, the need to be a friend is more high in this permissive style. Whereas in a neglectful style, there is no warmth, there is no emotional connect, there are no boundaries. Whether it is good or bad, you are just living together in under one roof. And the thinking actually is they will learn to be independent, they will take their own decisions, let them learn the hard way. That is the thinking of the parent by being neglectful. It's not that as a parent, they choose that, okay, I'll bring this child, I'm going to be neglectful. No. It doesn't. They also have a perspective in their mind, which could be right or wrong. It could work well sometimes, but it could backfire most of the times. Now, authoritative style is very different from authoritarian, though they look alike, but they are poles apart. Now, authoritative is first you listen to the child's story, reason it out. Instead of requiring total obedience, you will set clear limits. Now, if you have if the child has a gadget time of between 7 and 7:30 or 7 to 7:45, you will stick to it. The child will have to listen. So these are good value systems that you're bringing in your child. So consistently you will reinforce. It's only at times you will give in, and it's not wrong, because you can't be all the time wanting the child. It's not a military zone that the child is living in, right? So parenting is based here on true freedom. Children have the liberty to come and share everything with you. You are strict, but you will not yell at them. You will not pass a judgment immediately. As a parent, you will listen to what the child has to say. So they encourage, they allow the children to have their point of view. And if it is different from yours, you will also say why it is different. What makes you say that, okay, now I heard whatever you have to say, but I don't think it's, this is right. And then you go on to explain. So such parents live according to the roles, and they have specific principles and specific framework in their house. They have definitely, such parents have one meal together, either the dinner or the breakfast, where, they have a conversation with the child. It's not just asking mundane questions. Okay, did you drink milk? Did you pack your lunchbox? These are all very mundane questions. And it just needs a yes or no answer. We need to have an open-ended question answer session with your children every day, because that is when the children feel safe and secure to discuss anything with parents. They will even, and especially in teens, they will have a lot of crushes, they'll have, boyfriends. Just have conversations. It's not that, when you're going to talk to them immediately, they're going to jump into something else. No, they will take mature decisions. Believe me, whenever you talk to your children openly, without any bias, without any opinion, without a judgment, they will grow up to be mature individuals, because they see that you are giving them enough inputs. At the same time, you are also sharing sometimes why it is wrong. At that moment, they may not like it, but eventually they'll say, yeah, I think he has a point. You give them some time and then tell them to reflect and come back. They'll say, okay, you have a point there, right? So there is no manipulation. Such children who grow up in such environments, they don't feel manipulated. There is no need for the parent to be manipulative. So what can we see? We see that there is increased family unity. It's all about the family and not about the individual. So we see parents modeling the behavior for their child. So the child, many a times in counseling, I've asked them this question: who is your role model? And I'm so glad to hear, children saying that my mom is my role model. My dad is my role model. And then I go to ask them, when you say your dad is your role model, what makes you say that? Then they say, my dad is very principled man. He's very hardworking. So the child actually sees these qualities in you on a daily basis. So if the child comes and asks questions, sit and explain. If you don't have the time, just tell them, at the moment, I'm rushing out. So can we have this discussion maybe later during bedtime? So the child says, okay. So it is a very nourishing environment for the child. So you discipline at the same time. Sometimes, the child can get into, some moods and they may not listen. But then there you will take away some privilege. It's like saying, okay, today, because if the child loves playing basketball down with his friends, you will say, okay, today, in the morning, you spoke very rudely, and I don't appreciate this language in this house. None of us talk like this. So today evening, I'm so sorry, you will not go for your basketball game. That's it. So you have to learn to negotiate, and you have to pick your battles wisely. You don't pick on every small thing. Then it doesn't, it doesn't work. It doesn't become a nourishing environment for the child. So it's very important that we don't live on other people's opinions, right? We have to think for ourselves. It's okay, whatever somebody else thinks, it's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's your child. You want good for your child. You want your child to behave well. There are times when you look at some children and you say, wow, such a matured child. Where does it come from? It comes from the parenting modeling. It could come from they could pick up from grandparents in the house. So that is why in those days, when we lived with grandparents, we picked up a lot of things. We could, we were very patient. We had tolerance. Now, children, even if your own brother or sister comes to live with you, or not live with you, if they come on a holiday, the child says, I don't want to be disturbed. I will be in my room. You ask them to go and sleep in some other room. And we also agree, right? So we have to become aware of where we are today. Okay. Now, I just want to play this for you because it really shows all, where do I? Okay, I'll show it at the end of the session. Now, helicopter parenting. This is something which is developed after the 60s. So the term helicopter parenting was first coined in 69 from a book titled Between Parent and Teenagers. So in that book, it is about how the teenager and the mother, they on a daily basis, how they go through life, and how the mother, like a helicopter. Now, what does a helicopter do? It is always hovering on the top, always watching what the child does, right? So child developers like Foster Clive and Jim Fay coined this term as helicopter parenting. So excessive involvement into the child's activities. So they came up with this term because they're always, hovering, and it encompasses the whole space of the child. The child starts sometimes feeling very claustrophobic in this environment. Now, these are parents who pay extreme close attention to their kids' activities and schoolwork, and they think that they are protecting the child from a lot of things that are happening. So they don't allow the child to develop their own social skills, interpersonal skills. They decide everything for their child. They are so protective that I think if you have a chance, watch the movie of the Kajol, I think Kajal or somebody is there in that movie. It's called Helicopter Ela. It beautifully shows how the mother, She wants to be there for the child. She does everything for the child. She monitors everything. Just watch it. It'll really give you a perspective of, because the helicopter parent wants the child to succeed. They want to be involved in everything the child does. They want to give the best for their child. But in that bargain, a lot of damage happens. So what are these disadvantages of this style? It actually stunts your child's cognitive, emotional development. They have very low self-esteem and confidence. So these parents take over the child's responsibility. Many a times in schools, when a project is given, the mother or the father sits and does it because they want to be one up. Somebody else's child brought a beautiful, project that was made out of wood and, a lot of stuff in it. They even buy projects. So I need to make my child stand on par. So what they do, they sit and do. The child will be happily watching television. And the mother and the father will put all their efforts and, start doing the project. And in the end, the child will just go and hand over the project to the teacher. Did the child learn anything in the bargain? It is only the parents who learn, because they would have done a lot of research. So in that bargain, they get to learn a lot. So what happens here? They may even put their personal goals and their career aspirations on a hold because they want to give the best for the child. Not bad in some circumstances, because sometimes you may have to sacrifice a few things if you want your child to go to a particular class, which is the best. So in such circumstances, it is fine. But in everyday activity, if you are going to be like a helicopter, the child will feel very claustrophobic, and it does more damage than good to the child, right? Now, it even doesn't, the life skills are not developed when we do this. Now, this is what I have said. You do your child's homework. You decide with whom they need to make friends and go behind them every time to see whether they have reached their house. I will pick them up. I will drop them. So you are micromanaging. You are shadowing your child. So what happens is, these children, when they grow up, you will see that even after they are married, you can see this in your husbands. They will call their mother day in and day out. They will speak to them. They will tell all these small things that happen in the house. It is because their parent would have micromanaged everything in the perception, thinking, I'm doing good for my child. Right? So these cognitive abilities are different in different age groups. When a child is below 7 years, kindly mute yourself. I thought I had muted. Kindly mute yourself, please. Just a minute. I'm not able to close that window. Okay. So, different cognitive abilities are, when it comes to different age groups, it is different cognitive abilities that they have. When a child is below 7 years, their motor skills are developing. So that is why it is important to allow them to play with mud, with clay, to let them allow to, paint, let them draw paint, it's fine. They're creative, their right brain works. When a child is young, the right brain works very well. And you have to allow that to develop. Till they are 7, they have these motor skills, and that's why they are excited with a lot of toys. Why do they enjoy these colorful toys? Why do they enjoy, removing and fixing it back? Because they enjoy the motor skills That is the development that's happening in them. Now, children between 8 and 12, they love games that have rules. So take them to sporting activities because it's important for them to learn to win and to lose. And this is the age group that loves gaming, because right now there are a lot of games that are available on your mobile, on their tabs, and they get addicted to it. Because it affects their cognitive development. It destroys their life skills. It destroys their social skills. Now, I know handling a teenager is not easy. So it would be great if you can monitor your child and, reduce their screen time. 30 minutes before they go to bed, please, as parents, this is a small thing you can do. Just take away all gadgets. Take away gadgets from them. Keep your gadgets also away. Because very often what happens is, you tell the child that no more gadgets, you have to go and sleep. You are sitting with your gadget. That is when you are sitting on WhatsApp, you are watching television. So the child is thinking, why can't I do if they are doing? That is why modeling is important. You also keep your gadgets away. You can see it after the child has gone to sleep. Because understand that these gadgets have a lot of radiation. I'm sure we are all intelligent parents. But then there are so many chemicals that damage the brain. Now there are 4 hormones that are functioning in our bodies, right? In these, especially in the growing up age, they have endorphins. That happens when you exercise, when you laugh, when you're happy, right? The endorphins are released. So you feel this happens inside of you. Then oxytocin. This shows up when you are in love, when there is harmony, right? When you are interacting with people you love. So this oxytocin comes when you interact with others. Then you have serotonin, which helps you in sleeping, which helps you in eating, digesting food, regulating your moods. And the last you have is dopamine. Now, this is the pleasure hormone. This causes addiction in children. So that is why it is very difficult. These games actually trigger that dopamine in the child. And that is why, games like PUBG, like Blue Whale, children are not able to differentiate between the realities in life and the gaming world. The dopamine creates that addiction. And when that is triggered, the child doesn't know what it's doing. In fact, recently, yesterday, I read in the paper that in Pakistan, one boy who was, I think, 14 years, he was playing this PUBG and he wanted to, he got so addicted that when his dad took his mobile and said, enough of playing, he just took the gun in his father's room. He shot him. He went and shot his mother, shot his 2 sisters, and sat in one corner. They become aggressive. They don't know because the dopamine in that brain is activated. That is why it is very, very important. Parenting is not a joke. It is a responsibility both the parents have taken. Because jointly you have brought the child into this world. So you have to, whenever you're negotiating, discuss. There may be times when the mother doesn't want to allow something. Then the husband should not stop the mother there. Then what happens? Children are very smart. They know where to go and for what. I know this mommy will allow. If I ask this, daddy will allow. They are very, very, very smart. So be always on the same page. Sometimes, yes, you may not agree with what your wife did or said. In the room, tell her, you know what I observed. This is something which you shouldn't have spoken to the child. then you both can have a discussion. And it is always good to go and say sorry to the child the next day. So there the child learns a lot of skills, how to appreciate, how to say sorry when you did something wrong. So you don't boost the ego of the child. By behaving like this, you give the children a very, very good value system, right? So if you have ticked this, then you have to be aware of what is happening in your parenting style. Okay. What happened? It's stuck. Now check, what is your parenting style? Are you neglectful? Are you authoritarian? Are you permissive? Are you helicopter parent? Or are you authoritative? Now, I wouldn't say that one style is better over the other. We need to pick qualities from each of the style and see what works in your family environment. Somebody can be just the husband and wife living together. In a house, it could just be a single parent. In another house, it could be extended family. So you have to pick and choose the qualities which works for you. So that is when the combination of guidance, the support, the rules that you enforce will enable the child to be the best version of themselves. So we are all responsible for the child's physical, intellectual, emotional, and social growth. So we provide them nutritious food, encouragement, safety and comfort, spiritual and moral guidance as well. So by being a caregiver, you are providing the physical needs. By being a nurturer, you are boosting their self-confidence, their emotional needs. And by modeling, you meet their intellectual needs. So when we do this, children feel very, very nurtured, very loved. They give respect for what you say. You don't have to, demand anything. They will also listen. They are also, if the environment is nourishing, definitely they will listen. But you need to explain to them. And I definitely suggest, as parents, every day, spare time. We spare time for other things, talking to our friends, probably watching a program on television. Do some activity together. It could be a board game. It could just be Andakshari. Have a little fun. Understand you can never be a friend to your child. You can be friendly with your child. You can never become a friend. You cannot replace a friend. But you can be friendly. By being friendly, you are approachable for any kind of discussion. If something goes wrong in school, the child will come and discuss with you first. Otherwise, it will just keep it and discuss among friends, and they may not be the best judge to give any decision. And the child may be in a wrong direction totally. So this is where I really appreciate what I heard Ms. Sudha Murthy. I'm sure some of you must have listened to this story on parenting. She says, when her son had a birthday party in school, he came that day and he said, Mommy, today in class, this guy has invited us to Domino's for a birthday party. So I want to wear good dress and go. So she's very happy. She goes and comes. Then when his birthday comes, he expects the same. And he comes and tells his mother, Mommy, I also want to have a party there. So she says, definitely we'll have a party, but I just want you to sit and listen to what I have to say. Now, assume how many children you want to give party outside. He says at least 50 children in my class. I can't choose, so I want to take all the 50. She says, okay. So for 50 children, if 1,000 rupees we are going to spend over there. So what is the total? Now the son is calculating, he says 50,000. Okay. I will give you 50,000. Okay. But use it wisely. She says, you have seen our driver. You have seen the driver has two children. They don't go to school. You are going to school. You have best education. And you want to spend so much money on a birthday party? So the son gets very angry. Amma, every time I talk something, you will say, tell something like this. I also want to do my birthday party. She says, yes, I don't deny. We'll do birthday party. We will invite friends home. I will bring samosa. We'll make samosa, some chips. Anyway, your cake is there. We will give some, some rasna, fruity. So the child is not happy. Her son is not happy listening to this. She also realizes that, he's not happy. She just says, think over it. I'll give you 2-3 days time. Think over it. You are playing with these children every day, but they don't go to school. And you want to say you want to spend this on a birthday party? It is not the right thing to do. So he thinks over, he comes back and he says, okay, but at least you add one gulab jamun for the, to this menu that you are saying. She says, okay, no problem. We'll add the gulab jamun. So what she does is she hands over that 50,000 to her son. And in front of the son, she calls the children and the driver and says, it is his birthday today. And he wants to share this amount with you so that your children can go to school. Those children are so happy. That happiness in that phase that Rohan never forgot. And when he went abroad to study, as a mother, Sudha Murthy said, it was his birthday, and I asked him, what are you going to do on your birthday? Generally we ask. So the son said, Amma, you have driven such a great value in us. He sends her a mail. He says, you are a mother to me. Every mother has a child, but my mother looks after many other children. And she says, that's the best compliment or the gift I can get for the upbringing that we gave. So on his birthday, he sends money. At that point in time, I think he sends 1 lakh rupees. And he says, Amma, can you please give it to the Jawans, the family of the Jawans who have lost their people in the war. Because of them, today, we are very secure. We are in a very secure environment. So I want you to give this to them. So she is very, very happy that she did this when he was a child. So are we giving this value system? Spending time with children is the most important thing. Make time, even if it is 10-15 minutes before they go to bed. It is important to calm their mind down, talk nice things, give your own, younger days, funny stories. This is how you wear. This is how my grandmother used to, tell us. A lot of things when you share, the child also feels that, okay, I can also share. So you are bringing that value system, you're bringing in that culture in the child. It doesn't have to. So this is a beautiful poem that I saw. It says, children learn what they live. So if a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn, right? If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child learns to feel shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns patience. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. Now, if a child lives with fairness, he learns justice. Now, if a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. And if a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. So the self-esteem and confidence increases. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world, right? So this is what we need to inculcate in children. And I think as parents, we have a very, very large role to play in the lives of our children. Today, if our child is not doing things the right way, or not listening, or not coming out openly to discuss anything, you will have to reflect, where is it that I am going wrong? Where is it that I can correct myself? How do I correct myself? It is difficult. I don't deny. As parents, it's not easy for us to change our own attitude overnight. But then, now that you're aware, how do I change my behavior? How do I become a role model? Very often, as parents, small things, when we come from outside, you just put your slipper, however it is. You will just go inside, drop your bag, wherever it is. So the child sees that. And when he comes from school, he will also throw one shoe this side, one shoe will be somewhere else. The bag will go third on the sofa. And you enter his room, it's like, a railway platform. And then you start yelling, why can't you keep your room clean? So he has observed certain things, and that has made his behavior, he has started behaving in the same way. So as parents, it is our responsibility to be role models. You may want the child to go to a yoga class. You may think that, okay, the child is obese, so you will put him in the yoga class. And in the morning, he doesn't want to wake up. And you will say that, yes, I will, Evneet, I'm just concluding. So, so the child says, I don't want to go to class. Then you ask the child, the mother will ask, why don't you want to go to class, beta? He will say that I want to sleep like daddy. So the child can't distinguish at that young age. It will only see what is happening in the house. So if the father also gets up and he says, okay, I'm going for my walk, you can go for your yoga class. So there it sees the parent getting into, or as a role model, doing stuff himself. So then the child also follows. If the child is not well and not able to go to yoga class, it's a different thing. But out of sheer laziness, if it doesn't want to go to a class, then that's the wrong thing. Similarly, encourage children to go out and play, do a lot of outdoor activities. That enables them to have interpersonal skills, teamwork, how to work with team, how to interact with people. It also teaches how to, bounce back, resilience when they fail in life. When adversity happens, how do I come back? Or if somebody has got hurt, how do I reach out? How do I help him? There's so many things a child learns when you take them out. As a family, make it a routine that, okay, weekends, you want to watch a movie? Let us all watch a movie that all of us will enjoy. Let us watch the movie and discuss what is good about it. What is it that I didn't like? Always agree to disagree. Let us not get into, arguments saying that I am right. I am older, so I have the authority to, I know I have life experience. Yes, you have life experience. Share it. Make it look. How do I make it look positive? So this will help the children, because it's important that you gift them character and personality, not cars and property. So with this, I would like to thank you all for your participation. And we will take up questions now, because I'm sure that a whole lot of you, all of you have a lot of questions. So yeah, we will take one at a time. And there is a form that I have put on the chat box. You can definitely, if there is no time to take the questions now, we can always discuss this. You can send me a mail and you can call me and we can have a chat, right? Okay, Avneet. I don't know if I spelled you right.
Yes,
Avneet.
ma'am. Ma'am, how are you?
Yes, I am fine. Thank you, Avneet. Did I
Ma'am,
spell your
myself
name
is
right? I don't know.
Meet.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm from Delhi.
Yeah.
Ma'am, now that I've attended your webinar, ma'am, I'm really feeling like I could have been a good parent had I attended the seminar at some early age. Since I have two daughters now, 16 and 12 years. And after attending your session, I think we both, me and my husband, both are authoritarian parents. And I feel like now, if we could now become friends to our daughters, that like my elder daughters clearly have a lot of hatred in her heart just for both of us. So we can clearly see that. In fact, she says it every time. She's very open, like she openly says that I
Blunt.
hate you for what you are. Yeah.
Hmm.
She tells me that I never want to be like you. I clearly she says that she doesn't want our guidance and our interference and in everything. Like she's like, I want to be independent. That's it. So how can we now become friends to our daughter? Like,
see, it will be a slow process because the child has already formed an opinion in the head, right? So
exactly.
it will take time. So what you need to do is start doing small things. Like probably if your child likes to, go out, maybe she likes an ice cream. So you just, without her knowledge, you will start taking her out. You can even, if her friends, yeah, some of her friends, you can call them over, and then you can have a nice, give them whatever they want to eat, and then you have a game with them. You just say, okay, today can we have a nice game? I have just thought, we'll play this. How let's do this together. You will have
really
to that.
Yes, I always do. This is
Okay.
very like you were told that we should spend time with the kids. My husband and I, we continuously spend time with both our kids. We have three, in fact. The younger one is 3 years old, so not bothered about him. I can at least follow your steps for him now. So she she enjoys with us, but she still wants to be alone. She wants to spend all the most of the time alone. She wants to go out alone, which we don't allow her. She keeps on using phone all the time, day and night. Every time she's using phone. So you said set the limit, but I don't think she can set the limit now. Like she never wants to listen to what we say. And if we, the way you said, the way you gave example of basketball, not to allow the child to go for basketball. If I tell my child to negotiate, she'll definitely yell back. She won't follow me. She won't obey me.
No, it is a slow process. It is a slow process. You have to start apologizing to your child for whatever, things you thought was right and it wasn't right. Okay, you start apologizing. Say that, okay, I'm so sorry that I did this. Because whenever you start having a conversation, when you apologize, what happens? The child feels, oh my God, I also feel bad. I also should start listening. It can't be my way or the highway, right? It's not wrong to apologize for whatever has happened. You can just sit and talk to your daughter and tell her, Beta, I attended a webinar and I got a lot of insights. And we realized that the way we have, spoken to you or behaved with you in the past was not right. So here on, I would like to be a better person with you. I want you to feel very comfortable. Understand that I want the good for you. We are not, people who hate you, because we want you to be successful, there are certain things which we don't want you to do, then you can sit and explain. You have to start creating a conversation where you allow her also to talk. Now, what do you have to say? Ask her.
Ma'am, we have noticed some changes in her, some bad changes. In fact, we have discovered.
Mhm.
So she says that she won't be doing this after we came to know, but we still doubt that if she goes out, like she'll do the things again. So this is what bothers us most.
Right,
And she
because yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
she says that she won't be doing it again, but I don't understand how we can like how we trust her again.
So that is where the trust, the distrust or the mistrust that you've created has already been embedded in her head, right?
Hmm.
So what happens is now you have to give her that benefit of doubt. Because I think now what you're doing is you're trying to be like a helicopter parent, right? When she goes out,
Exactly, ma'am.
you are trying to,
Totally
monitor,
agree.
right? So now you have to start being watchful by talking to her and telling her, tell her, I trust you. Today you said you're going. Couple of times, even if she does a mistake, it's okay. Leave it. But when you keep harping and telling her, I trust you, somewhere down the line, the child understands that, okay, my mother is having the trust in me. I shouldn't be doing it. She herself will do. She'll take that responsibility. It's okay. The first few times, you will also find it difficult, right? Let go. But tell her, I trust. I know when you say that you will not do it, I believe you, beta. I know you won't do it. So give.
I know she will do it because I know she's smart and mature enough to understand what's good and bad for her.
True.
But I don't understand how she got like maybe she copied someone. She did some things which she shouldn't have done, and I understand she won't be doing it. But the thing is that I don't feel like trusting her. But the
Yeah.
way you said that,
Yeah.
I keep on telling her that I trust her. She'll somewhere find out like my mother is trusting me. This is very good.
Yeah.
Really, I'll definitely do that.
Yeah. When you try this, give positive, talk to the children. Don't. I know at the back of the mind, you know that maybe this time she will still break rules. She will still
I
do
know.
what she was doing. But eventually, after 4-5 times, she will start feeling guilty. At the end of it, we are all humans. We all can feel the connect, right? After all, she's your daughter. So she will understand. Leave it for the first few times. But tell her, I definitely believe you. And give that, it's important to hug your child and say, I believe you. Give that. Don't just verbally say, I believe you. So they understand that language also. Give them that hug. Tell them, I believe you, beta. I know when you have promised you won't do it, I know you won't do it. And trust me, children will listen. It is just that small bit of things, sometimes we need to apologize. Sometimes we have to be, their guardian. Sometimes it's okay. You say, can I drop you today? You can tell them. If you want to really, be a helicopter, but not want them to know you're a helicopter, you say, hey, I'm going that side. Should I drop you? Initially, she'll say, no, leave it. So that is where she is getting the trust. She is feeling that you're not coming like a CID, right?
And even if I sit with her now for some time, she
Huh.
comes to know you are stalking me, you're trying to work.
Yeah. Because
That is why
I
you're
know.
sitting here on my
Yeah.
bed.
You try this, it definitely will work. I'm very sure it'll work. But we need patience. We need that, we need to take ownership for whatever we have done also, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, not to worry.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Any other question?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody has any other questions?
And one thing, if I am attending this session, my husband hasn't attended this session. If I could, we could get in touch with you.
Yes,
any
yes,
number.
please. I think I have given the
I
No.
want him also to have a conversation
Yeah,
with
you
you,
can
because
take-
if I do the things that you are telling me, he won't follow it if I tell him, because
I understand.
like
It's in every house, don't worry. Yeah.
so your number,
My
is it
number
in the
is
chat
here.
box?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, I'll see that.
Yeah. Any other question? Somebody wanted the previous slide. And for all of you, I will put a link on the chat box. There is a nice activity, a quiz that you can all, when you not in the chat box, when you fill the form, you will give your email IDs, right? So I will send you a mail with a link. And when you click the link, you can take a test. So that will tell you what is your style. So answer those questions honestly. Don't think of an ideal situation, how an ideal response will be. Just fill that form, share your mail ID. I will send you the link, and that will help you know where you are. At least it gives you an indication of what is your style. I think I have shared the link in the chat box. Okay, anybody else has any other question? Let me.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, Bimala.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I'm a single parent and I have a 6-year-old girl, ma'am.
Okay.
So actually, she watches phone and all that, ma'am. So sometimes she asks like too much curious question, like this one time she asked me, like she was watching some cartoon, as you know nowadays, like they
Yeah.
don't have this restriction kind of thing, anything they can watch on YouTube and all that.
Correct.
So one time she asked me something like that, so like am I supposed to explain it to her? Can I do that, like some like about
Okay. What is the age of your child?
ma'am, she's 6, she will turn 6, ma'am.
So which means she is in grade 1 or 2, is it?
UKG, ma'am. She's in
She's in
UKG.
UKG. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So when she, firstly, why is it that there are certain parental controls that you can put on YouTube also on
Mhm.
what they watch, what they can watch? You can
Right,
allow
right.
them to, you can put that. So that way you save children from watching unwanted stuff, right?
Right.
Secondly, you can explain to her to the level she needs to know. But
Okay.
you should explain. Because the moment
Okay.
you start saying this is not good for you, the
Right,
child,
right.
in the child's mind, I want to know why. It will ask you why.
Right, right.
Always answer these why questions patiently, whatever
Right.
be the age. So relevant to the age, you give information that is required, but answer the
Mm.
question. Then
Right.
you will see that she will not hide and watch things, right? She will also
Right.
be open about, because she knows that tomorrow when she sees something else on a cartoon, he can come and speak to you about it.
Right, right.
So have
No,
that
the
communication
thing
channel.
is, ma'am, she has watched these things. In cartoon also, they see that the mom is pregnant, and then the this thing they will say like babies, and then she will ask me, "Mom, how do you get the babies and all that?" She will ask me questions like that. She is like very curious type, and she will say somebody's like having a bump or something. One time she said to my brother, like, "Are you pregnant? Your tummy is coming out and all that."
Right,
So
right.
that is like how to deal with that, ma'am, because in cartoon it's normal to see like mommy having a baby and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So regarding this,
yeah. So when the child comes and asks you this question, you just say, God put a seed inside because that is her age, right? That is
right,
all you
right,
can tell. God came,
right, ma'am.
put a seed into my tummy, and that seed became you.
Right,
So you can come down to their level, think, and then give an answer. So then it doesn't, it is not, you didn't give a wrong answer, because growing up, she will also think, when I was young, obviously when I asked my mother, she's going to give this answer only. Right? So you are
Very fun.
not giving her misinformation. At the same time, you answered a question. I was praying to God that I want a beautiful girl like you. And God's listened to my prayers and he put a nice seed into my tummy.
Mhm.
So explain it like that and leave it. So she will be satisfied.
Okay. And ma'am, sometimes she's like a hyperactive, ma'am. She's like hyperactive. And sometimes she becomes so aggressive. Like if I tell her to do something, she won't listen at all because my parents have kind of pampered her. And I'm not like too strict, but yes, sometimes like when it comes to discipline, I'm strict with her. So then she becomes very aggressive and then she will slam the door or something like that. And then I have to like yell at her. Is it correct thing to do?
No, it is absolutely the wrong thing to do. The thing here is, if you are staying with extended family members, you'll have to definitely talk to each other. You will have to explain because it is a responsibility on your shoulders that your daughter develops in the right way. Because this kind of things that she is doing right now, she will carry it forward when she is married also. Right? Tomorrow, at that point in time, they're going to blame whom? Are they going to blame your extended family or are they going to blame you?
Me only.
Right? So it is not about the blame. It is about how we can help the child understand that this is okay, this is not okay. So firstly, sit and talk to your elders in the family. Tell them, yes, I know she is the favorite child of this house, but we should have certain boundaries. And when we set these boundaries, all of us agree. Tell them, sometimes I am also wrong. Sometimes I get into my bad mood. I may say something, but please don't correct in front of her. Do it when she is not there, when she's gone to school, when she is playing. You correct me, I will accept. So have a conversation because you are doing one thing and they are pampering. So what happens? She considers you as the bad mother or she will consider you as an enemy. Right? So it is very important that you, your husband, first talk together. Then together you all sit and talk to your elders in the family. Tell them she is now starting to behave like this. Tomorrow when she grows up, this behavior is going to reflect. Right? The behavior, attitude, and thinking are all interconnected. You cannot change the behavior. Behavior is something you see on the surface level. But below is the attitude and the thinking. So what can you change? You change the thinking now. Then the attitude will change and the behavior changes. Right? So you should have a talk with your people at home. Tell them, like, she has started doing this. So when I say no to certain things, please respect. And even if she comes to you, tell them, you ask mommy. If mommy agrees, we will give. So you need to be on the same page. That is what I keep telling. Then all this will stop. All this will stop. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Any other question?
Good evening.
Yeah. Did I hear somebody?
This is Ravinder.
I can't hear.
I'm a teacher.
I can't hear at all, sir. I would request, 1 minute. I would request you all to fill the form and send your email ID, because once I close this, I think the email IDs in the chat will go. I have put the form, the link for the form in the chat box. So please fill that and then I will pick up your email IDs and send you that link where you can, take a test and find out what is your style. Yeah, please go on, Ravinder.
Am I audible?
No, I can't hear. I can't hear. I can't.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher and I just want to know that sometimes students misbehave indiscipline in the class. So at that time, we scold them or we punish them. So they start showing their attitude. Why sir has beaten us. So they have great attitude. They start in anger mood, some of the students. So what should we do to tackle this situation?
I didn't get your first part of the question. I think you said that in class, there are some students whom, when you discipline, they get angry. Is it? Is that what I heard?
Right, ma'am, right.
Okay. And what do they do because of that?
They start to showing why sir has why the type of is doing. They don't accept that behavior from the teacher's side.
What behavior from the teacher side?
They start complaining, or they are no, they are they accept that or fault.
See, again, here when we spoke about parenting style, the style applies for you as a teacher also. See where you fit in. Are you the authoritative? Are you picking up the bits and pieces of the authoritative style? Are you picking it up from the authoritarian? So you need to sit and analyze what am I doing? Because children, whatever their age, no, you have to take them into confidence. You pick those 4-5 children who are very naughty, take them aside, okay, and then sit and have a conversation. Your communication cannot be the authoritative one. Like, I am the teacher. I know you have to follow these things in class. Tell them why they have to follow. And also understand they come from a certain family background. What the child is, their behavior today is because of their parenting at home. So understand their parents, where they are coming from. So then call the parents and have a conversation. Don't complain. Because the moment you start complaining to authority, children will do even more, especially older children. They'll say, हाँ, सर ने अभी complain कर दिया, देखा जाएगा ना, अगले क्लास में, let's see. They'll become even more aggressive. Then it becomes very difficult for you to continue the class. So it is always better to first understand where are they coming from. If they are coming from a family background where, gundagiri chalta hai, then that is what they are going to reflect, right? So speak to the parents, then speak to these children separately. Make them understand it, that is the critical thing in parenting or in teaching. As a teacher, they are also children. You have to have open conversations. Find out, why are you doing this in class? Talk to them nicely. The moment you change your tone to an authoritative manner, they will not open up. Make your tone very subservient and ask them, listen, I saw that in class today you guys really behaved badly. Now tell me something. What do you think? What happened? Why is it that you all did this today? So each one will start blaming the other. Listen. Listening is also key. Listen to them. Listen to each one's stories. And then calm them down first. When you calm them, communication is more about preparing the other person's mind to receive what you want to tell. At the end, they will make their own solutions. They will take responsibilities. But most often in any communication, what happens is we are not preparing that mind. We are only telling them what to do, what not to do. So later in life also, when especially this helicopter parenting, they always tell their child what to do, what not to do. So what happens, the child grows up goes into a manager's position cannot take decisions on his own, because subconsciously it is put in them that I have to ask authority whether this is right, whether this is wrong. I will not open my mouth and communicate my ideas. My ideas will be, could be brilliant. But in office, I will not open my mouth. Where does it come from? And then you will see that you are not given promotion. You are better qualified. You work hard. You do all the work diligently. You go the extra mile, but somebody else is getting promoted. Why? Because of all these things that we put in childhood. The subconscious mind picks up all this. As I told, it's like that phone, the camera recorder. It has recorded everything. At that time, there was no judgment or anything. Now it has replayed. Now it is an adult. It has gone through certain experiences in life. And now it is saying, I'm not going to be like this. If you see in families where, parents yell and the father hits the mother starts crying, you see these children when they grow up, either they will also do gudagiri like this when they get married, or they will bring misery to themselves because they've seen the mother crying. So they also think that, my life is going to be like this. I will also get beaten like this in various other forms, not in literal form. So the subconscious mind absorbs all this. So my suggestion to you is, please take the children aside, calm them down, have a conversation. आज क्लास में जो किया था आपने अच्छा नहीं किया. Can we talk about it? Let's see what went wrong. I also want to understand कि गलती क्या हुआ. Tell me what happened. Then they will open up. They will probably, one of them had something fight at home. And he fought and he forgot about it. But that emotional trigger is there inside him. And then it just came out like that in class. And because he's, an aggressive child, the other aggressive children team up. So we don't know. So unless we open up the conversation, you will not know. And also understand the family backgrounds they come from. That will give you more perspective to why they are behaving like this in class. Why only that bunch of kids are behaving like this, while the others are able to listen to you. Are we on the same page, Ravinder?
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Welcome.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, my daughter is in 12th standard.
Uh-huh.
She has taken her first board exams,
Mm-hmm.
and she was quite serious in studying very nicely for the exams. But after that, somehow, things changed that, second board exams, the pattern is not yet decided. And then CCT was introduced. Then, she's got demoralized that, I don't know what is CBSE up to. For what shall I study? And like, why should I study? Such questions keep on arising in her mind, and she is totally demotivated. So
Okay.
what do I do her to, put her back?
No, first you also have to understand what are the reasons for the demotivation. Is it the subject? Is it the teacher teaching the subject? Is it her understanding that has, which has come down now? So we need to find out the reason. If it is the teaching method that she doesn't understand, then you may have to give her the support of, outside support of a teacher who will teach the same subject well. But if it is the subject itself, then you have to, if it is history, geography, it's fine. You can always, sit and, enhance her knowledge on that by guiding her yourself, if you're able to do that. But if it is general demotivation, you have to talk to her, find out what has happened now, what has changed. Because something in the external environment has changed, which has made this child behave like this today. Right? So you need to understand. You have to talk to her and find out whether it is the subject that she doesn't understand, whether it is a teacher who probably is criticizing her or putting her down when she asks questions. So she doesn't want to do that subject. She doesn't like the subject. See, very often when children don't like a particular subject, it's not the subject, it's a teacher. Right? In our own experiences, in our life experiences, we have seen, if I don't like math, it's because my math teacher wasn't able to teach me the way I want to learn. Mismatch of learning style and teaching style. So you have to sit and talk to her, find out what is it that has changed. Because earlier, the environment was supportive, so she was fine. So something in her environment is different now. So you need to understand what went wrong. So for that, you have to have a talk with her. Tell her, because it's not, if mostly what parents do, no, they say, this is the time to study. If you don't focus on studies tomorrow, who will give you admission? How will you get college admission in Loyola College or in, Lady Shri Ram, whatever. When you put the end result, the child is not able to understand. It actually repulses the child. Understand the child's, circumstance. Find out what went wrong. Why is it that you're so demotivated these days? And if she is in 12th, I would suggest that you take a, there are these scientific tools, the psychometric assessments. It measures 5 domains. It measures the personality, the interest, the aptitude, the orientation style, and the emotional quotient. So when the child takes this assessment, you are able to understand where the child is today. It is like your Google map. Unless I don't know where I am, my location, how will I know where to go? Somebody will say, right jaake, left jaake, seedha jao. Somebody else says, go straight and then you go on the bridge and keep going straight. We don't know who is right. So by taking these assessments, because these assessments are all reliable and validated. They are all tried and tested over a mass of population. They have undergone certain validity tests and the results are very accurate. And that is why my counseling sessions, I just don't do on my own without the assessment having been taken by the child. Because it gives a clear indicator. Where is the child today? Then it's easier to guide the child. Even for you as a parent, you may want the child to, do a chartered accountancy course. But does the child have that aptitude? Does the child have the interest in that? Let us see where it is. Let us align the strength and the potential and choose the career path. So that makes it easier for you, the child, to take a very well-informed decision. Because if I'm just going to do a counseling session saying, this is good, this is not good, the child also knows, my mother must have spoken to her. And based on that, she is also talking. Children know. They are very smart. So it doesn't work like that. When the child has taken the assessment, he or she has taken it on their own, right? And the result is what they have taken. It is not what you or me are going to talk. So we have the proof of the pudding is there. So with the proof, when I guide them individually on each of the parameters, and the child will agree to each of them, that is the validity and accuracy of the test. So then you can understand, where is it that we can, meet midway? Let us meet midway and see what is the best career option. And honestly, nowadays, they have so many career options. Gone are the days where it was only science, arts, and commerce, right? Hello? Hello?
Thank you, ma'am. So
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
So you can reach out to me. I can guide you further. Okay. Any other questions, people? If you all have, please send me a mail or you can call me. We can discuss over the phone. And I think it's time for all of you to even go and have your early dinner, probably, or even relax for a while. Ponder, think over.
Excuse,
Yeah.
ma'am, when the next session will be join the complete session?
Yeah, I will let you know on that. Definitely. You can even reach out to me personally. We can talk about it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thank everybody. Kindly fill the form and there I will reply with a link. Click on the link and you will be able to find out what is your parenting style. Once you are aware, then you can always, modify, pick and choose what is good for you. It will give you a result. It will tell you this is where you are, this is where you are, this is how you're, functioning right now. So it'll be a very, great indicator for you to know where you stand today, even as a teacher. Even if you don't have children, it's okay. You are a parent to a whole lot of children in class, right? So it's good to understand where you are today. So with this, I would really thank everybody who has patiently attended this session and look forward to your mail ID so that it will help you know where you stand today. Yeah. And thank you so much. And anything, please reach out to me. My email ID is there. My phone number is there. And you can definitely call me. I will be there. You can just note down the number in case you have missed it. So you can always reach out. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
मैम नंबर कहाँ पे है आपका नंबर
It was there in the, shall I put it on the chat box?
yeah yes
Yeah, it is 98450285516. I'm on WhatsApp on this number also, so you can always, and I think I have also shared the link on the chat. I don't know how many of you have seen it. Just fill the form and you will get the, I'll just send it again. Yeah. Yeah, shall we close the session? Looks like a lot of people don't want to leave. 25 of you are still there. Any other questions?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. Who is that?
I'm
Husna.
Husna speaking.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Husna, tell me.
Ma'am, I have two kids,
Mm-hmm.
and my elder son is of 13 years old,
Mm-hmm.
where he generally is very obedient, very prompt, and very innocent. He's so innocent that it doesn't match with his classmates, and he's a bit hesitant, and that makes him he feels a bit like backlogged.
Mm-hmm. How old is
I
he?
just
13, you said.
ma'am,
Mm-hmm. So when you
I
say,
just feel that I
yeah.
try to as I'm a teacher myself, I
Mhm.
try many techniques to motivate him, do many things with him. I want I want him to be like the other kids, the ones who are very bold, the one how they'll all come up. I know he's not less talented, he's also talented, but I don't know how to bring him up.
No, don't compare him with the others, firstly, okay?
All right.
Each child is unique because he's come up with some personality traits of both parents, of the grandparents of both sides, right? That is the DNA motherboard, so to say. Now, how do we uh, enhance his strength. Now,
Yeah.
you're saying he is not very confident, right? So find out what he
Yeah.
likes to do. Supposing he's good in drawing, okay? Tell
Mhm.
him to draw. When he draws, go and appreciate him. Appreciate him in front of 10 people, in front of his friends.
Correct.
When you start appreciating, the child self-esteem goes up. When the self-esteem goes up, self-confidence comes. When there is confidence, he will be able to face the world. Instead of us telling the child, nahi, nahi, aise karna chahiye, wo aisa kaisa hai, dekho, don't compare. Because the moment you're comparing an apple with an orange, the orange came from an orange seed. It had its own environment. It had a different soil, right? So there is an environmental influence for that child. Probably, in their house, probably, the father and mother may be bold. Now we don't know where the child is, not showing the confidence. So start appreciating the child. Whenever he's good in something, appreciate. Say, wow, beta, bahut acha kiya aapne. When the friend comes, show it. Start appreciating, show them. Put him in activity where, he will develop these skills. Like he's 11 years means he must be in what grade?
No, ma'am, he's 13-year-old. He's in 8th standard.
8th
Grade
standard.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So put him in, you have these clubs, no? Toastmasters club, where,
Yes.
you put him in that. So that will develop his overall personality. Does he play any games?
Yeah, he's interested in cricket and the other games also, kabaddi and all he plays with his friends.
Oh, good.
Whereas, ma'am, I'll be troubled. I work in the same school
Mm.
where most of the teachers come and tell me how is he so prompt? How will he lead his life if he's like this?
Don't just listen to anybody's. See, he has taken some good values in him, right? These are not bad value systems that you have given. It is good value system, but you need to add that little more of masala to make it more spicy and nice to eat, right? So which means he needs to
Right.
deal with the external world when he grows up. That is your concern, right? So don't
Yes.
let other people's opinions work on your mind. When you let that happen, whatever decisions you're taking may or may not be the right thing for him. Right? So instead, enroll him in different activities which will bring his confidence up, where he's going to shine, where you can appreciate him openly. So once you do this appreciation, even when you're with him alone, just appreciate him. Tell him, oh, you did so well. I think you should participate in this. Push him, nudge him like that.
Okay.
And slowly, you will see that he will become he'll be able to deal with people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah. So yes. Anybody else, or should we just call it a day? Ma'am, is there any other question? Oh, yes. Sudeepa says, have more sessions like this, definitely. I think the world is such that we get caught into so many things. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. It's just a perception, right? So yeah, we will, as much as possible, wherever, I can guide and help, I will reach out. And whenever you guys need help, just message, and when I'm free, I'll call back. And we can discuss on a one-to-one. If you don't want to open up in the forum, it's perfectly fine, perfectly understandable. We can take it up on a one-to-one also. So I just think I should close this session so that you also go and rest, contemplate on what is the inputs given, see where you are. When you fill the form, you will get a link, fill it up. Now you know where you are. Then it is easy for you to, modify your behavior, modify your thinking, have a discussion with your, husband, if the husband is attending the wife. So have a discussion. So bring in that nurturing culture. inclusive culture in the family, so that the child feels safe to talk about anything. So when the child comes and talks about, especially in the teens, they'll talk about their boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not saying encourage it, but listen to it. And in the end, they will get the subtle message. You open up their channel for, you first listen, and then you open up their channel for talking your inputs, your perception. Why is it that you're saying, this is not good? You have to give an explanation and then leave it and say, think about it. Don't say, I have told you this, now you have to, now you know why it is wrong. Don't conclude. Leave it open and say, think about it. I'm sure you will agree with what I have said. Let them think about it. After a week or something, late in the evening when you're going for a walk, just bring that topic up. Find out, hey, that day we had this talk. I told you some things. Did you think about it? You haven't spoken about it. Can we talk about it now? That is how we open up channels for communication. And as family, involve your children in everything, especially if they are boys. Involve them in housework. Can you please wash these vessels for me? I'm doing something else in the kitchen. So sharing of work is also very important, so that they don't see, that women are supposed to be in the kitchen. Women are supposed to do all this. When I get up, do I fold my bedsheet and keep my pillow, everything in place? When you do that, automatically the child will do. And when the child doesn't do, it will see that you are doing it. And when you say, see, I have done my bed like this, I think you should also do it. So when they are young, you can give some motivators like, we'll put a chart. Today I will tick. You get a green tick if you have put your bed. So in the end of the month, if you have got 25 or 30 ticks, I will give you a Cadbury chocolate. It's fine to do this. So you're bringing in a habit, a good habit in the child. Not just saying, no, go and fold, your bed is dirty, you're keeping your desk dirty. Let them take responsibility. But for that, you should have kept your things neat. Otherwise, the child today, they will say, first you clean your kitchen. See your cupboard. If it's a teenager, they definitely will talk like this. So that is why modeling is important. In any house, when you model good behavior, the child picks it up. When somebody in the family is not showing that good behavior, talks rough and disrespects women, disrespects people who work for you, the child is going to pick it up. So tomorrow, if the child is behaving like that, we can't help it. It's the environment the child grew up, has shaped up his personality. Right? So with this, I take leave and thank you for being here for such a long time. And any issue you have, any problem you have, reach out to me and I will see where I can help and guide you. Okay. Thank you so much and bye.